Welcome back, and you're on video number 2, which brings us to question number 2. We're doing the question and answer format for each chapter. And question number 2 is, what is your goal with this book? What are you selling? Again, we're not just selling books. Nobody's going to get rich selling a book. I guess the odd person can get rich selling a book, but it's
Yeah,
not
the,
very
the
likely
the woman who
scenario.
wrote 50 Shades of Grey is doing $1 million a week in book royalties right now. So somebody's doing that, but we're
Somebody's
not in the
doing it.
erotic fiction business here. So
Exactly. We're assuming that you are a business person and you're looking for this book to just give you to open more doors, right? To give you more opportunity. And so your book is just one piece in a larger component. So you really have to sit down and ask yourself, what are you selling? And I guess the most obvious place to start is, what are you selling today? Where are your main sales? Where do your revenues come from today? And what are some areas that you'd like to expand into? Ideally, and Brad, I'm going to get you once again to speak from experience here, but I know that once you have a published book, and if the book does well, like yours did, got to best-selling status, it opens more doors specifically for higher fee type of work, right? If your previous hourly was $100 an hour and suddenly you have a really successful book, you're probably going to be able to charge a lot more, aren't you?
yeah, at least 105, maybe $110
Yeah,
an hour.
yeah, we're talking big business here.
Big increases. um, no, absolutely. You have to think about what you want the book to create for you. Do you want it to create more speaking engagements, more consulting work, more product sales, future book sales,
More leads.
yeah, more leads, paid writing gigs, paid speaking engagements, paid corporate training. Uh, what is that for you? What's the book designed to drive?
Yeah, absolutely. Another big one that I've seen not just with your book, but with a number of different people, it increases partnership opportunities as well. People on a level that you may not have been able to get with before, those people might now be open to taking your call, and just having a book can give you that sort of authority now, so to speak. But again, knowing what you're selling will fit into that, and I think whether you have products, services, or a combination, your book can complement all of that. So you want to make sure you take into consideration all the different aspects of revenue, what you offer today, but also what you could offer, right? The book is now setting you as an expert in some area. It doesn't really matter what it is. Is there an opportunity for you to create brand new products and services that maybe you do charge premium rates for? And you can go into that process before you even write the book with some of those ideas in hand, and maybe the book becomes your catalyst to getting those done.
Well, and you can also insert into the book certain hooks for those offers, right? Remembering that your book is a bit more timeless. If someone downloads it on their Kindle or or has a paperback in their hands, you can't update that. So try not to put prices in there. Try not to put try not to put specific offers as much as
Links to your
coupons
blog, or yeah,
or links to things. One of the things I did a lot of in my book was I just said, I asked for people's opinions, and I said, hit me up on Twitter, because I like to use Twitter to communicate publicly, because it's short and keeps people from sending their whole life story to you in a message. I'll say, like, at the bottom of a page, do you have do you have a different experience than this that you'd like to share? Hit me up on Twitter. Or I've gotten a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of people follow me and start interacting with me on Twitter that end up buying premium services from me down the road, whether it's consulting or whatever it might be. So sometimes just a soft upsell, but kind of pushing people towards your end goal is all you need. It doesn't have to be a distinct sales funnel,
yeah. So
unless you have products in place that you just want to plug into, which you and I have. I didn't do much of that in my book. I may go back and revisit that in a revision round, because we do have a few products that we've created that I think could complement the book, and I could provide coupons for that kind of stuff. So it is something worth looking at in the future. But I think if it's going to be consulting that you're going to sell, definitely your hourly rate is only going to go up after all of this happens. So you don't want to be quoting numbers too much in your book.
yeah, absolutely. So I think if you want an idea of something you could do from this video or from this lesson, a couple things that come to mind for me personally. Brad, feel free to add some of your thoughts as well. But doing a mind map on just some of the stuff you've been selling today or even in the past. Go if you've been in business for a while, maybe go back 4, 5, 6 years and think of some of your biggest earners and maybe some of your highest volume earners. If you sell a lot of something at a lower price, but maybe that's an indication that it could do well for you. Think about all of those different things and then maybe take that mind map or that list that you make and go to a couple of trusted advisors, go to a mentor, or go to somebody that you can trust who has some experience as well, but maybe comes from a different industry, and have them look at A, what you're trying to do with your book, and B, some of the services and products that you offer. Maybe they'll see some opportunity for you that you don't see. And if you know that those opportunities exist before you write and publish and launch your book, then you can plan to really capitalize on making money with that as the book becomes available.
You can even do list building kind of stuff, right? Where you have something that's this is a really popular way to do a list build, where you have a sales page for a product, where the product is whatever price, and if people come in publicly, they're going to pay. But then you have a box for a coupon code, and that coupon code makes the product free, but they still have to put in their name and email address to get it.
Yes. Yeah,
That
exactly.
kind of stuff is very powerful because it's just a way to get people on your list, and now you can start broadcasting to them whatever it is you're up to now, as opposed to trying to put them into some, again, older funnel or older product funnel. At the very least, you want to dangle something to get them to join your list and interact with you.
Perfect. So there you have it. What is your goal? What are you selling? Now you've got some tips and ideas and strategies you can use to plan it before you even get into the whole process of writing your book. See
One
you in
more
the. Oh,
add,
sorry.
sorry, yeah, I just want to add one more thing before we close on this, is that one of the few ways you can make your book generate revenue for you is when we talk about. I don't know if we were going to talk about this in a future one or not. When you are doing speaking engagements, a lot of the time you'll come across these organizers that will tell you they love to say this. They charge lots of money for their attendees, but somehow these organizers never have any money for speakers, right? So it's like, we have a budget for speakers. Um, and a lot of speakers will hear that and say, "Oh, I have a budget. I guess I got to go speak for free," and then they beg for travel and expenses to get covered, and they're lucky to get that sometimes. But what I find works really well is once you have a book, one of the few vehicles that does work for you. Like I've set my book up now that I get about a $5 royalty every time someone buys one. Um, and so what I'll do is I'll say, well, okay, if you don't have a budget for a speaker, do you have a budget for books to put in your giveaway bags for your attendees? And you'd be surprised how many times they have room. They actually have a column on the spreadsheet for stuff to put in the gift bag, but they don't have a column on the spreadsheet for you, right? Have to move you over to that column on the spreadsheet with the gift bag and say, okay, well, you got 300 attendees, buy 300 of my books, and I'll be there,
Yeah, that's a great
right?
point. Yeah, now you're just getting compensated in a roundabout way.
Yeah. Now you're getting $1,500, and you're picking up 300 new readers. So it's kind of like it's a double win for you, right? You get paid. It may not be what you would get to do a talk normally, but at least it will cover some of your time and expenses to be there, and then also open up the door to 300 new potential clients for you.
Perfect. Love that tip. Great job. Good way to close off this video. We'll see you in video number 3.